just popping in real fast because it's time to talk October books. I know we're like just in the midst of September, but there are so many books coming out in October. I have like a giant stack of advanced reader copies that I picked up from BookExpo for October, and I don't think there's any way that I'm going to read all of them between now and the beginning of October, even like the end of October. There's just no way that's going to happen. So I'm going to tell you about them now so that you can put them on your to-read list if any of them strike your fancy. So this one it actually was recommended to me from the speed dating thing, but I picked it up on my own actually. It's from Kate Morton. It's The Clockmaker's Daughter. I actually stood in line to get her autograph. This was the longest autograph line that I was in of the day, believe it or not. Everybody there loved Kate Morton, and with good reason. I think I've only read one of her books. Here it is. Yay, this is what happens when you stand in line. You get a little post-it note, and they write down how to spell your name, and then you hand the post-it with the book, usually to like a handler or something, and then the handler hands the book to the author, and the author just looks at the post-it and does their thing. Sometimes you just hand it directly to the author. I think in this case I did hand it directly to Kate, and she actually said my name right, because British people know how to pronounce vowel sounds properly, except for taco. They say taco. That's not right. I don't know how that can happen, because taco already has the long A sound, and they say the long A's like normally. I don't know how they get that confused. But she said my name right, and it was like, I should be living there instead of here. Anyway, it's Laurie, not Lori. Just throwing that out there. This is her newest book. My mom was a big Kate Morton fan, so I'm excited to check this one out. It comes out October 9th, and it's a Simon & Schuster book. So if you don't know Kate Morton, I would recommend getting started on her. Maybe this could be your first introduction to her. She's got tons of books, and they're all really, really good. The next one was another speed dating book club book, The Lighthousekeeper's Daughter. Lots of books that take place with lighthouses. I don't know why there's such a great kind of background scenery, but they are. This is actually, I believe it was based on it's inspired by true events, which is really interesting. So if you like kind of historical fiction, I think this one might be a good one. It sounded really, really interesting, and it takes place in 1838, but then also 1938. So there are some things that happen in the first past that are also happening in the 1938 present, and they sort of connect. So this sounds really, really interesting, I think, and it's written by Hazel Gaynor. I've not read her, but she is a New York Times bestselling author. This one comes out, it just says October. It just says October. I don't have a specific date, so I'll have to look that one up for you. But it sounds really good, and it's published by William Morrow. This one, the main character's name is Laurie, spelled correctly, which like never happens. So of course I had to pick the book up. Why not? And it's kind of a rom-com, I think, a little romance story called One Day in December by Josie Silver. Takes place in, you can tell by the double-decker bus, in England. So I think it sounded kind of cute. It was a book club recommendation as well. Kind of a long one, but I think if you are looking for something maybe kind of light, this one might be a good one. And because it's One Day in December, maybe it could be a fun book to read in December. I know it comes out in October. October, again, it doesn't have a specific date. I need specific publication dates, you guys. I don't know. I'll have to look that one up for you. It's from Crown Publishing, so check that out. So I've read several books about going minimalist, especially within your home. Some of them I've liked, some of them I haven't. There's a new one coming out called The Cozy Minimalist Home by a woman named, I'm going to botch this, I know, Myquillyn Smith. She has some other, I believe she has another book called The Nesting Place. And she might also have a website too. I think this is the full book. I'm not totally sure if this is just a sample or the full book, because it seems kind of thin, but minimalist. It's a minimalist book, right? I don't know. I'm gonna give it a shot. I don't know if it's going to speak to me. Maybe it'll speak to you, but if you're into, chucking stuff out of your house, trying to, cut back on the clutter, maybe this could be a little bit helpful. The back of it says you can have the house you've always wanted starting now. And it's written for the hands-on woman who'd rather move her own furniture than hire a designer, which sounds kind of like me. I know nothing about designing, so hopefully this helps. It comes out October 23rd. Thank you for having a specific date, although those dates can always change. And it's published by Zondervan, which is a division of HarperCollins. So I'm kind of excited about that one. This one is A Cloud in the Shape of a Girl by Jean Thompson. Comes out October 2018, October 9th, so the beginning of the month. And this one should be a good book club one. Again, kind of a historical, spans World War II to the present. I think if you have a book club full of women who like good discussion, this could be a good discussion. It's 3 generations of women. I don't want to spoil too much, but I like books. I like book club books that deal with women as the main characters, because I think obviously most book clubs have women members. So I feel like there's a lot of discussion when the main characters are women, because we can relate to what they're going through. So yeah, I think this one might be good for discussion. I don't know if there are discussion questions in the back. Doesn't look like there are, but maybe you can find some online as well. Should be a good one. When the Men Were Gone is another one. This one's published by William Morrow, and this has to do with football. Don't worry. Marjorie Herrera Lewis is the author, and this one really, I was sold on this one, and I can't remember why. This was recommended in the book club speed dating. It takes place during the war, but the men go off fighting, and I believe a woman takes over coaching the football team. Yeah, a woman takes over coaching the football team, obviously because When the Men Were Gone, that's the title of the book. So I think this one is pretty interesting too, and could also lead to some good discussion for a book club. Pretty short, and it comes out October 2018. Don't have a specific date for you, so sorry about that one. We'll have to look it up. It takes place in 1944, so again, if you like sort of historical fiction type things, could be a good one too. This is called Thirst, and it's written by Scott Harrison, who is the founder and CEO of Charity Water. I've actually seen him speak before at a church. Really, really interesting. The story of how the company was founded and what it does. Really, I support the company, and I'm really interested to read this book and find out more. I mean, I already know how it got started. I already know the story, but it's been a long time since I saw him speak at the church. And I, would love to get a kind of a refresher on the story, and also find out more about what they've been doing since then. So if you don't know anything about Charity Water, you don't know anything about who Scott Harrison is, I would definitely recommend Thirst. So you can find out a little bit more. Anyway, so this book comes out, again, October 2018. I don't have a specific date. It's published by Currency Books. And you can find out more information about it from thirstbook.com. This book was like a crazy book. It was the first book. The day that I went, they have a book, a big like magazine that you pick up so you can see what's going on, the events and everything. And I saw that this was one of the advanced reader copies that they were giving away at 9 a.m. the day the show floor of BookExpo opened. And I thought, I'll go to the booth and I'll pick up a copy. Well, like everybody else in the whole BookExpo decided to go to the booth as well. So we're all like shoulder to shoulder going through the booth trying to get there are advanced reader copies of Dear Evan Hansen. I managed to make my way through to get a copy, and I was like handing copies back to other people because nobody could get through. Then I couldn't get out. It was craziness. But I got it, and I'm glad I did because it's obviously a novelization of the Broadway musical, and I am poor, so I'll never be able to get a ticket to see the Broadway musical. I hear it's very good. It won Tony Awards, I think. I don't know. It doesn't have a soundtrack to it. It's just a book. But I'm excited. I'm excited to read it and see what it's all about. And it's probably why they made it a book, so it can be more accessible to people who can never get to see it. And obviously, like, teens, because I think it's geared toward teens. I don't know anything about it, but I'm excited to read it. When does it come out? Let's see. It's for ages 14 and up, so the book is geared toward teens. I don't know if like what the content, if it's changed at all. I have no idea, but I will let you know because I will definitely do a review of this on the blog. It just comes out sometime in October. I'll get you a more specific date. And then this one, it was kind of like a random one that I picked up. I was really trying to edit myself so that I didn't take too many books that day. I bring a backpack with me to BookExpo, but I happened to be walking through what this was the Penguin Random House booth. This is published by G.P. Putnam and Sons. I had just saw that this was like on a table and it looked interesting. I mean, I was judging it by the cover. It looked interesting, and the lady who was passing out the books was like, "Oh, do you think you might be interested in this one?" And I was like, "Oh, what's it about? I don't know. Sure." It seems kind of like it's kind of historical. It takes place in 1911. So I thought, sure, I'll pick up a copy. I'll take a look at it. It's kind of long, but if you are interested in stuff that takes place in England, kind of like, you know, old wealthy family type things. This actually says fans of Downton Abbey or some Kate Morton books. We were just talking about that before. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to this one. It was one that like it wasn't really recommended. Again, I just like randomly picked it up because I was looking at the cover. So anyway, that's what these books are. It comes out October 23rd, so at the end of the month. That was a lot of books, and I will try to read as many of them as I can, and I will let you know on Instagram when I've got reviews of all of these being posted. I'm still in the midst of some of my September books. I'm in the middle of I Know You Know right now, which is pretty good. I don't know what I'm supposed to know, so it's definitely keeping me in suspense. So thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.